One must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure. Madness is something rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, peoples, and ages, it is the rule. The most perfidious way of harming a cause consists of defending it deliberately with faulty arguments. To predict the behavior of ordinary people in advance, you only have to assume that they will always try to escape a disagreeable situation with the smallest possible expenditure of intelligence. He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly into flying. I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and the impossible. Hope, in reality, is the worst of all evils because it prolongs the torments of man. After coming into contact with a religious man, I always feel I must wash my hands. One repays a teacher badly if one always remains nothing but a pupil. Perhaps I know best why it is man alone who laughs. He alone suffers so deeply that he had to invent laughter. Today, as always, men fall into two groups, slaves and free men. Whoever does not have 2/3 of his day for himself is a slave, whatever he may be, a statesman, a businessman, an official, or a scholar. There is not enough love and goodness in the world to permit giving any of it away to imaginary beings. Blessed are the forgetful, for they get the better even of their blunders. The lonely one offers his hand too quickly to whomever he encounters. Ah, women, they make the highs higher and the lows more frequent. All I need is a sheet of paper and something to write with, and then I can turn the world upside down. Silence is worse. All truths that are kept silent become poisonous. A good writer possesses not only his own spirit, but also the spirit of his friends. One ought to hold on to one's heart, for if one lets it go, one soon loses control of the head too. All things are subject to interpretation. Whichever interpretation prevails at a given time is a function of power and not truth. There are two different types of people in the world. Those who want to know, and those who want to believe. Be careful, lest in casting out your demon you exorcise the best thing in you. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? A casual stroll through the lunatic asylum shows that faith does not prove anything. A thinker sees his own actions as experiments and questions as attempts to find out something. Success and failure are for him answers above all. Faith on not wanting to know what the truth is. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. Every deep thinker is more afraid of being understood than of being misunderstood. The thought of suicide is a great consolation. By means of it one gets through many a dark night. I am a forest and a night of dark trees, but he who is not afraid of my darkness will find banks full of roses under my cypresses. The advantage of a bad memory is that one enjoys several times the same good things for the first time. The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. Is man merely a mistake of God's, or God merely a mistake of man? No one can construct for you the bridge upon which precisely you must cross the stream of life, no one but you yourself alone. In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die, as will the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions. They cease to be mind. I cannot believe in a God who wants to be praised all the time. We should consider every day lost on which we have not danced at least once. When we are tired, we are attacked by ideas we conquered long ago. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. The man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends. There are no facts, only interpretations. In heaven, all the interesting people are missing. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. It is hard enough to remember my opinions without also remembering my reasons for them. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on I can't believe you. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. Without music, life would be a mistake. The true man wants two things, danger and play. For that reason he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything. It is impossible to suffer without making someone pay for it. Every complaint already contains revenge. The life of the enemy. Whoever lives for the sake of combating an enemy has an interest in the enemy's staying alive. One must pay dearly for immortality. One has to die several times while still alive. He who climbs upon the highest mountains laughs at all tragedies, real or imaginary. The end of a melody is not its goal, but nonetheless, had the melody not reached its end, it would not have reached its goal either. I parable. At bottom, every man knows well enough that he is a unique being, only once on this earth, and by no extraordinary chance will such a marvelously picturesque piece of diversity and unity as he is ever be put together a second time. Of all evil I deem you capable, therefore I want good from you. Verily, I have often laughed at the weaklings who thought themselves good because they had no claws. Nothing on earth consumes a man more quickly than the passion of resentment. No shepherd and one herd. Everybody wants the same. Everybody is the same. Whoever feels different goes voluntarily into a madhouse. The worst readers are those who behave like plundering troops. They take away a few things they can use, dirty and confound the remainder, and revile the whole. There is an innocence in admiration. It occurs in one who has not yet realized that they might one day be admired. For art to exist, for any sort of aesthetic activity or perception to exist, a certain physiological precondition is indispensable: intoxication. Remorse. Never yield to remorse, but at once tell yourself, remorse would simply mean adding to the first act of stupidity a second. I assess the power of a will by how much resistance, pain, torture it endures and knows how to turn to its advantage. My solitude doesn't depend on the presence or absence of people. On the contrary, I hate who steals my solitude without, in exchange, offering me true company. Man is something that shall be overcome. Man is a rope, tied between beast and overman, a rope over an abyss. What is great in man is that he is a bridge and not an end. True, we love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness.